Hello children, today we will learn the fourth lesson, Louis Pasteur, Conqueror of Disease, written by E.H. Carter. This is the fourth lesson from Part 1 textbook. Okay, so Louis Pasteur, he was a French scientist. He was a French scientist and he has done so many experiments on bacteria and okay, let us start the lesson. We will learn so many things from this lesson, his lifestyle and what and all that he has done experiments. I told no that experiments also we can see, and also his inventions, vaccinations, that and all we will see in this lesson. So, let us start the lesson. On the first of battle in one of his campaigns, Napoleon decorated for bravery a certain tanner named Pasteur. This brave soldier had an equally brave son, Louis Pasteur, born 7 years after Waterloo. He was not a soldier, but he was a fighter. So, this is the brief introduction about his family. Whose family? Louis Pasteur. So, Napoleon you might have heard, no? Napoleon Bonaparte. He was also great conqueror of countries, so many countries. Okay, great person he was. So, one of his final battle, it took place in Waterloo. Waterloo it is a place. In that place, so at that time what happened? No? They had one battle, so they conquered that battle, they got the victory, and in that even one person called Pasteur. His name is not a Pasteur, but actually his name is Jean Joseph. That is, Jean Joseph was the father of Louis Pasteur. He also participated in that battle, and also because of his bravery, so he got the name a great tanner, a big banner they give, that is Pasteur. And he had the brave son also. Who is that son? Louis Pasteur. He was not a soldier, but he was a fighter. Fighter of what? Disease. So, here he fought disease. He devoted his life to the study of what we sometimes call germs. So, entire life he has dedicated his life in search of, in studying about bacteria. Where this bacteria exists, what is the shape, what is the lifetime of bacteria, what are the activities of bacteria, that and all he began to do research on bacteria. So, that is all. See, sometimes called germs, which men of science call bacteria. These germs, the men of science, scientists will call these germs as bacteria. And this bacteria name is little rods according to the Greek. And bacteria, what are bacteria? Bacteria are vegetable organisms. What are these bacteria? Vegetable organisms. How they will be? Little rod shaped plants. What are they are nothing but little rod shaped plants which exist in the air, water and soil and in the bodies of animals and plants. So, where these bacteria exist? They exist in air, water, so a soil it will be there, and also in the bodies of animals, plants. And sometimes these bacteria may be good and sometimes they may not be good. Means good bacteria is there and also bad bacteria are there. That is what he is telling, but not all the causes of disease. So, we can't say that all bacteria will cause disease. Some bacteria will not cause disease, but rather they convert matter into food for plants. So, how great they are, no? That is about little introduction about bacteria, and that we read in second paragraph, and first paragraph we read about brief introduction the family background of Louis Pasteur. Now, we will see what type of person he was in the third paragraph. Okay, everyone open, let us go to the third paragraph. Louis Pasteur had a very busy and interesting life. Okay, he had a busy life, very busy, not only busy life, but a very busy life he has. But that life was interesting. He was not feeling bored of his life, right? He was not feeling bored. He has interest. He loved the science. Microbiologist. He was a microbiologist. So, as he not only made some exciting discoveries about germs, but he was able to use his discoveries in very practical ways. Okay, not only just he not only made some exciting discoveries about the germs, but what he could able to do, everything he had applied in the practical way. He had shown everything in practically. He worked hard in his laboratory with the test tubes and all kinds of experiments. Okay, he worked hard in his laboratory with what? Test tubes. We know, right, in the laboratories and the practice. So, if we go, we can find the test tubes. Test tubes, you know, right, small glass, transparent glass will be there. They will put every chemical in that. After that, they will do the experiments. All kinds of experiment he used to do. But nearly all the time he was working to help people. Underline that statement. One side he was working, okay, on doing experiments for his personal life. But one important thing is that what is the special character of Louis Pasteur is he was working but nearly all the time. When all the time he was working to help to help people who were suffering in some special way from disease. Okay, what type of people he was helping? He was helping the people who are suffering from special kind of diseases. So, with those people, Louis Pasteur used to help. Among the people whom Pasteur was able to help were breeders of silkworms and cow keepers, all of whom were trying to carry on important industries in France. So, all the people who are carrying they are trying to carry some important industries, means they are working in industries. If they are working in industries, they might have affected with some kind of diseases. So, to that people Pasteur used to help. And Pasteur was always very proud of being able to help his country in this way. And he was feeling so happy, so proud also. How, okay, in this way I am helping my country, I am serving my country. Like that he was feeling so proud of its nature. And next day, Louis Pasteur born, about his birth, where he was born. Louis Pasteur, born in a little French country town, was interested in chemistry. So, where he was born, small little French country. A small town was there in the France, you know, right, everyone, France, you know. So, France, so there in the small place was there he was born, and he was interested in which subject? Chemistry. When he was very young. When he was very young, at that time, he was interested in chemistry subject. After studying hard in Paris and showing great promise, he began to teach and lecture as professor for chemistry. Oh, so actually chemistry is very difficult subject, right? Very difficult to remember all those things. Oh, but he was very intelligent man, and he was interested in chemistry. And also after studying hard in Paris, Paris means it is also it is the capital city of France. Paris perfumes, you know, right? It is famous for perfumes, Paris. So, he began to teach and he became a professor. Because of his knowledge, he became a professor. After doing lot of hard work, he became a professor in that country. And also, so where he became a professor at Strasbourg in Alsace. And he married a wife who was always to be his closest companion and assistant. So, luckily he got good wife also. Always she used to be closest companion. So, everything she could able to share. And Louis Pasteur, whatever experiments that is to do, everything he was sharing with his wife, and also his wife was so helpful. He was like assistant to him. What a good wife he got. Then Pasteur was deeply interested in all the new experiments that were being made in chemistry. Oh, See, was deeply interested in all the new experiments, not only small experiments, new experiments he used to do. Every day he got that much interest. Deeply he was involved completely in doing experiments. He was completely out of the world. Okay. He is completely away from out of the world. He made his own world in doing experiments, chemistry experiments, and decided to solve some of the difficult problems that were worrying chemists and other scientists also. Okay, he started doing some experiments on the difficult problems. Till then, so many people, they couldn't find the solution for some difficult problems. So, he started to find some solution. He began to work on that problems so that he can find some solutions on the difficult problems which other scientists couldn't find. Sometimes he used to sit for hours, underline that statement. Sometimes he used to sit for hours. How he was sitting? Simply eating and all? No. What he was doing? See, quiet, silent and motionless. How? Underline that. Quiet, silently he used to sit for hours, not for 1 minute, half an hour, hours, so many hours he was sitting like that. Motionless, not even moving here and there, just silently, quietly he was sitting like that and thinking hard about one of his difficulties. Whatever problem that is existing in front of him, he used to think about that problem so deeply. And without talking with everyone, silently used to sit motionless. Like that, he was getting some ideas. So, and when he was doing like that, when he was sitting silently and motionless, thinking hard about the difficult problems, whenever he thought of a solution, while he was sitting and thinking about the difficult problem to find the solution, if he find a solution, if he got an idea how to solve that problem, then what he will do? His kind, tired looking face would brighten with pleasure and excitement, and he would rush round to tell his discovery to his wife and to others who were helping him. So, immediately when he find the idea about for his problem which he was thinking, so whenever he get the idea, what he will do? He rush towards his wife and also other helping people. Why? He wanted to share that. Oh, I got solution, I found some idea for the difficult problem which other scientists couldn't find. Like that, that is the way, he finds that is the easiest way to solve the problem. Okay, they may ask you 2 marks question. What is the way, how Louis Pasteur, how did he get the solution, in what way, what is the method he was using? Simple method. What? He was sitting silently, motionless, thinking hard about the difficult problem, and whenever he get the idea for the solution, so immediately he rushed towards his wife and also his other people who were helping. Why? In order to share the discovery. And next, 6th paragraph. In 1854, Pasteur was appointed head of a college of science at Lille, a busy manufacturing town in the northeast of France. He was pleased about this because he always felt that trades and industries could be helped very much by the researches of men of science. His chance to be useful soon came. Okay. In 1854, what happened? Pasteur was appointed. He got good job. What is that? He was appointed as a head of a college of what? Science at Lille, a busy manufacturing town. The town in the northeast of France, there was a place, that place is Lille, and there one college was there, college of science. So, he got the opportunity to work as head for that college, and that place is very much filled with the manufacturing industries. Okay, and he was pleased at that place, he liked that place, because you have seen in the 3rd paragraph, right, he was very much interested in helping the people who were working in the industries and suffering from the diseases. different kinds of design, and he got the good opportunity also. See, he was pleased about this because he always felt that the trades and industries could be helped very much by the researches of men of science. Whatever researches that these scientists, men of science means scientists will do, that will be helpful for the people who are working in industries and also trades. That is about here, that is the opinion of Louis Pasteur. And his chance to be useful soon came. And he was waiting for that opportunity, we can imagine that. And he got the opportunity to help the people in this way. Okay, he got the chance. Let us see how it has become fruitful. Then, Pasteur, as a young chemist, had always been interested in the problems of why, underline that, problems of why and how living things decay, means how they will get destroyed. Living things means whatever the life is existing, how they will get spoiled, how they will get decay. Decay means spoiled. Why milk turns sour, why this milk will become bad, why meat goes bad, why wine ferment, the fermentation of wine will happen, right? The grape juice, wine means here black grape juice, you know, right? That juice, if you keep like that only for days, it will become, fermentation process happens, right? So, he started to give some lectures in Lille on fermentation, how this fermentation process took place. That and all, he began to give explanation for the lecture, he began to give the lectures over that. And one of the chief industries, very important, listen carefully, one of the chief industries in Lille was the manufacture of alcohol from beetroot. Okay, one of the chief industries means one head person in Lille, he was a manufacturer, he was the manufacturer of alcohol. We know, right? Alcohol, they will prepare, manufacture from beetroot. And that person, he met Les, and he was fortunate in being able to carry out experiments in some of the breweries. Okay, he was working there and he was carrying out some experiments of the breweries. And one manufacturer consulted Pasteur. Listen carefully. One manufacturer, he consulted, means he met Pasteur. Why he met? About his beer, which was turning out badly, and Pasteur, by helping this brewer, managed to discover all sorts of things that he did not know before about yeast. Underline that statement. What is that? All sorts of things that he did not know before about yeast. So, when some incident happened here, what happened? One manufacturer, he met Pasteur, he consulted, like a doctor, he consulted Pasteur. Why he consulted? About his beer. His beer, he was the manufacturer of alcohol from beetroot. He was also one. So, his beer was turning bad. It was not preserving. He was not able to preserve the beer for a long time. Yes, it is becoming bad, and in such a way, in order to find the reason for that, he met Pasteur, and also Pasteur could able to give me some explanation for that. Pasteur, by helping this brewer, managed to discover all sorts of things that he did not know before about yeast. And yeast is used. So, at that time while he was helping him, he could able to know so many things about the yeast which he doesn't know earlier. He didn't know. At that time he could able to understand, and he knew so many things about the yeast. What is this yeast? Then see, let us see. Yeast is used to make beer foam and bread rise up lightly. Right, like a fungus, it will form right on the bread. That is the yeast here. Lightly, if you keep the bread for so long time, you can see some rise growth. You might have seen growth will be there, like algae fungus. That is called here yeast. Pasteur became certain that yeast was alive. Okay, he could able to understand that yeast is also some organism which is alive and made up of tiny living cells. What is this yeast? According to Pasteur, it is made up of tiny living cells, small cells which is alive, living cells there are. Then when these cells were healthy, the yeast acted well, but if they were diseased, the yeast and the beer went wrong. Have you understood? Let us see. I will explain. When these cells, what are those cells? The living cells which are existing in yeast were healthy. If they are these healthy, the yeast acted well. Got it? But if they were diseased, what will happen? The yeast and also the beer went wrong. So, what is the reason for getting the beer getting bad? The yeast, living cell, the tiny living cells that are existing in the yeast, if they went wrong, it means if they not feeling well, if they are not healthy, then yeast also become weak, diseased, and also this beer also went wrong. It become bad. Got it? Let us go to the 8th paragraph. After a few years, Pasteur was made director of scientific studies at a famous college in Paris. He was still thinking about decay and yeast and germs, and one of the problems that he was trying to answer was this: do germs form from other germs? Listen carefully, very important paragraph. Okay, now here, after few years, okay, Pasteur was made director of scientific studies at a famous college in Paris. He became director of that. At that time then, he was still thinking about decay and yeast and germs. 3 things he was thinking about. Still he wanted to do research about, still he was thinking about that. So that he can find so many new discoveries. Then he had one question. What was that? He wanted to answer. One of the problems that he was trying to answer was this. Very important. What is that? Do germs form from other germs? Or, got it? Means the germs, the germs will get generated from the other germs. Like, do the germs have the parent cell, parent germs? Or, what is another one? Do they just come off the air? Or else directly, automatically they will generate from air? That is the question that he had. Okay, but come off themselves. Then, people like Pasteur believed that germs were carried in the air. Okay, according to Pasteur, the germs have no parents. They will be generated directly from air and might infect other things that came in contact with them. How they will infect? If they got touch with the other, they will be generating. Like they will be spreading. Okay, that is the belief of Pasteur about germs generation. So, others believed in what way they call spontaneous generation. That is, they believed that germs had no parents but just occurred by themselves. They have no parents but they themselves will generated. Okay, that is the spontaneous generation. Important. One more question then ask you. Then 9th paragraph. Pasteur proved that he was right by a very simple and clever experiment. He put some soup, you know, right? You'll drink soup, tomato soup, vegetable soup, like that. So, what he has taken some soup into some bottles and then he boiled it. What he did? He took some soup in the bottles, some bottles he took and he put it in the soup in the bottles. What he did? He boiled that on the stove in order to destroy any germs. Why he has boiled? Whatever germs are there are already existing in that soup, so that the germs might be destroyed, so that he can destroy any germs. Then after that he heated and pulled out the neck of each bottle until it formed a long narrow neck with a big bend in the middle. Okay, then the soup remained there for a long time and it never went bad as it would have done if it had been standing in a bowl in the kitchen. So what he did, so he pulled the lid of that bottle and he made that, so he made little soup to come up and to stay in that neck of the bottle. Okay, then remaining soup he left to be to remain in the bottle end. The soup remained there for a long time and it never went bad as it would have done if it had been standing in a bowl on the, so it is good. It was not spoiled. That, said Pasteur, is because there are no parent germs in the soup. That's why that soup was not decayed. It was perfectly alright and they cannot reach it because of the bend in the long tube. So he took one of the bottles and split a little of the soup down the tube so that it settled in the bend. After that he removed that and he made a little bit soup come near out of the bottle and stay in the neck of the bottle, and this soup went bad. We often speak of dust traps. Well, this bend in the tube was a dust trap because the dust, which as we know may carry germs with it, could get as far as the bend but no further, and it settled there and infected the soup. So like that he could able to prove that, means the which is exposed to the air, that soup was destroyed, means what, that soup was infected. Which was not exposed to air, that was perfectly alright. So by this he wanted to prove that parent germs are not there. Okay.